Good morning, everybody. Starting a new week off. We just had a major cold front come through here. We didn't end up working on Friday. It was a high of 3. And the night before, it was a wind chill of negative 65. So it was a little cold. It was so cold that my liquid calcium that we use to cover the trailer so the aggregate doesn't freeze in there, the jugs themselves actually froze and slushed over. So I was pouring out a calcium slush this morning instead of liquid all over the place. So hopefully with today's 45 degrees, it'll warm up a little bit and kind of take care of everything. And I apologize for the quality of the last video. I was all over the place trying to film. I had calls coming in and then the camera died, so I didn't really get much. So I threw together a video that was as good as I could. I'm working on doing better on that. I wanted to meet that deadline of Thursdays. I'm trying to upload every Thursday. We're going to maintain that upload schedule and hopefully the videos get a little better. I'm sure they will. I just didn't really have much to film. The other wonderful part is I kind of do the same thing every day. So I don't want to just keep filming the same thing every single day, you know? I'm in a different truck today. This is going to be made up of a couple parts from a few different days. They needed to work on my truck today, the tarp on my trailer. But I wanted to talk about advocating for yourself, especially as a new driver. So you're going to probably work for some companies that try and pressure you to do things, try and force you to do things that you're not necessarily comfortable with, or might be breaking the rules, if you will. And I'm not talking about like pushing you in a good way. I'm talking about like saying something that's wrong with the truck and they're telling you, no, it's fine, just run it. So you're gonna probably come into one of those companies at some point in your career, some earlier than others, and you really want to advocate for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know, if you don't have any other choice, you know, if it's the only vehicle that is functioning and everything, you know, you need to make a paycheck, but at the same time, you're still going to be the one getting in trouble if something goes wrong. An example for me is I had to get my wheel hub replaced when I had that bad tire. So one of the things is it took 7 days for them to replace that tire. And I was on their asses about getting it fixed. And they kept telling me, oh no, it's okay. It's only on the tag, you know, it'll be up. Like, no. That's not how this works. Now, there's probably some older truckers or the, you know, the old school guys or even the new guys that would just be like, I don't care, I'm gonna run it. That's fine. If you're comfortable running it, if you want to take the risk, you go right ahead and do it. For me, I'm still a new driver. I don't want to be taking risks like that. Tires blown out, I'm sitting on the side of the road, and then I'm stuck there. Or if I get pulled over by DOT and they do an inspection and they find that tire, well, guess what? I'm the one on the line for it. So my wheel hub, they replaced it. This is the other thing I wanted to talk about too. People can tell you things that aren't actually true, or they think that they did something when they actually didn't. For me, I had filled up all of my hub seals, or my hub oil, Monday morning. Well, come Wednesday, when the tire was replaced, they also fixed the wheel bearing. And me, I wasn't thinking one morning, and I didn't check, so I went to the pit. Now, it was on the tag axle, so nothing happened. But when I got loaded and got to the pit, something told me to just take a look at the hub seal when I was doing my walk around before I left the pit. Well, lo and behold, the mechanics had put the wheel bearing in, put the new hub cap, hub seal on. They didn't put any gear oil in it. So I would have been running down the road at 65, 70 miles an hour, fully loaded on that wheel bearing, and that could have locked up, seized up, and that's how you lose a tire. There's actually one Mother Trucker News, Asian My Show, did a spotlight on a set of tandems that came off of a truck, hit the windshield of another semi, and killed the driver inside. Well, guess what? You're liable for that. So these are the things to just keep in mind as you're becoming a new driver. You know, you may work at some companies that are on top of you about doing your pre-trip, but that's why it's so important to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself. Because if somebody's just gonna say, oh no, it's fine, you're just, you know, you're being a baby, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. If you're not comfortable running it, don't run the truck. If you just wanna say screw it, and you wanna run the truck and take the risk, that's your choice. But don't be afraid to speak up if you're not comfortable with something. Because at the end of the day, it's your license, and it's your livelihood, and it's your career. Like, I was being pressured to do 3 runs a day in under the amount of time that it should take. I was told, why is it taking you so long to do 3 runs? And I've told them multiple times it takes me 4 hours round trip to do a load. It takes 12 hours to do 3. Well, we're being told to keep our hours down. But you still want us to do 3 loads. Well, I don't know what kind of rocket ship you expect me to be driving. But you know, I'm doing 65, 70. That's what I'm comfortable with. I'm cruising right lane, middle lane. You know, I'm not under the speed limit, but I'm driving with what I'm comfortable in, and I'm getting the job done. So I don't see a problem with that. So don't let people pressure you into doing things you're not comfortable with. Now, as time progresses, you know, you might be comfortable doing 75. You know, some of these owner ops do 80, blasting by, blowing your doors off. That's fine. Their company, their license, their choice. But these are the things you have to keep in mind, because if you're at a company where where you're planning on not staying there for your career and they're pressuring you to do something like this, well, guess what? If you have some violations or if something happens while at this company, well, when you're going to look at another company to go get another job, that can come up in the search history. These are the things to keep in mind when you're doing these types of things, especially if you're new in your career. So that's just something I wanted to touch on, because I started this job at first being a little bit of a pushover and being like, okay, and I was taking some risks, and I kind of put my foot down because I was like, it's my license, I'm gonna make the choice. And once I started putting my foot down, you know, I was talking to the mechanics, I was told to stop writing something up 2 separate times because they quote unquote know about it. And I was told that if I got stopped by DOT to just tell them that it wasn't like that when I did my check this morning. Nope, I'm not playing that game. Went to my boss, not as a tattletale, but was like, listen, I've been told 2 separate times to stop writing this up, and I'm not going to stop writing it up. That's a part of my job, is to check out and write things up that is not up to par with the truck. Well, lo and behold, within the next 2 days, the problem was solved. So that's just what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm trying to get some more footage because, you know, it's kind of monotonous. I do the same things every day. But, you know, if that's what you're interested in, I'll keep filming. But let this be the lesson. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, because you could put yourself in a pretty sticky situation that you could have avoided if you had just spoken up. Or if you have to leave a job, leave that job. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I'll film a little bit more as I go along throughout the day, but that's just one of the things that I wanted to touch on. So I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. For this week's video. Hopefully there was enough content in there for me to put together something that's slightly entertaining. But if this is the stuff that interests you, me going about learning the industry and my journey through trucking to hopefully own my own truck and then start a fleet, if you want to follow along on the journey, feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button, helps out a lot. And feel free to leave some comments. I'll leave you guys with that, and I'll see you next week.